It's your boy V/U back with another video. Today we got Spongebob 32 races episodes. Like I said in the last video, y'all hit me to 1.3k. Let's get to 2k on this video and let's get straight into it. How? Wait. Before we get into this, hold up. Y'all go ahead and drop that like button. But how the hell is? Well, you mean you never know. 2 episodes. Let's see.
Sometimes it's nice to hang up my hang glider and just watch the clouds roll by. And they smell. But hey, you'd stink too if you spent 3 months buried in dirt. Ooh. You know what that cloud looks like? What? A flower. They all look like flowers, but...
And one thing I did see the comments saying, "Oh, put the link in the original video." Go to the original video. What about it? Not messing with y'all. I'm gonna put them.
all the time, they sure do.
Now, I know, I have a lot of
Yeah, I'm kind of
explaining to
skeptical
do.
about that.
The thumbnail, the title,
Yeah, the thumbnail
everything.
title
But
got me.
before we get into this, warning, no dumb babies allowed. We'll be talking about heavy subjects. And
Yo, and YouTube, do not take my video down. This is his video. I'm just reacting to it. You heard me?
one of them is your mom. But seriously though, if you can't handle these types of subjects, then I suggest you come back later with a refreshed mind and some comfort food, maybe. I don't know. Up to you.
What am I supposed to be looking at? Like,
Racism. One thing I can say is most people or anyone can experience racism. All it takes is one bad encounter or one thought process to end up like a racist.
and YouTube, before y'all say unpause it, YouTube, do not take my video down. This is his video. I'm gonna say this again. YouTube, this is his video. Do not take my video down. I'm just a reaction. I'm a reactor. You feel me? Take down his video.
Or meet one.
Just saying.
And the worst part, 9 times out of 10, most people who are racist don't think they're racist. You can get trapped in this cycle of believing in this nonsensical, irrational, and hateful way of thinking, all because of misinformation, media, or family and friends. But one way to stop this is by being the information. Be careful of what you watch on media, or be that friend to tell them that, hey, you're kind of cringe. If they don't believe you, then let them figure it out on their own. You can't really easily change someone's mind or sway their opinion because you say something. But in this video, we're gonna go over what it would look like if you change someone's mind by saying something. Which I'm not saying you shouldn't say anything in the beginning. You should always say
Bro, the
something.
memes, bro.
There are 2 different perspectives, a friend group and a friend. You might say, isn't that redundant? And you're wrong. Please keep your questions at the end of the video, but I'll entertain your question. In a friend group, it's harder to convey
Bro.
your message. It's usually a one-man thought process, or a mini scaled down version of a mob mentality, following one another because it's the funny thing to do. And with a friend, it's easier to talk to them one-on-one, allowing you to get more serious. With that, let's tackle the friend group first with Season 2, Episode 32, Peer Pressure. The episode starts out calmly and peaceful, as Sandy and Spongebob are looking up at the sky. The jokes always get me.
Ooh. You know what that cloud looks like?
What?
A flower.
But Sandy mentions that she would offer SpongeBob a race, but claims that she would win, as SpongeBob says the same. I just want to take a minute to analyze how realistic this is when it comes to real life. You're chilling with your friend and out of nowhere, they or you might challenge them in a game or make something up to be competitive, because that's what friends do. It's fun and also harmless, until you take it too seriously. Sandy also claims that due to her being a mammal and a squirrel, she's the best at climbing.
I'm a squirrel. See?
That's a mean stretch. I ain't gonna lie. I don't know. Y'all let me know in the
I thought
comments.
that meant you were nuts.
I don't know if this is a like
That's a stretch, I ain't
joke
gonna lie.
on stereotypes
That's
where
a
like,
stretch.
oh hey, I'm black so I'm good at basketball.
Nah. See, you're stretching it, bro. You're stretching it, bro. That's a mean stretch.
But I think it's commentary on if you're with a friend, you make jokes that only you and your friend would understand, something that's a little
stretch,
bit
I ain't
more
gonna lie.
personal. And also, you have to realize that not everyone will get and understand the joke you made in your friend group. Make sure you use proper etiquette and common sense when you're around other people. So I'll just chalk it up to that. They start the race with Sandy taking an early advantage. They both look like they're having a ton of fun, while Spongebob is getting fucking obliterated by some rocks.
Yeah, but this is an accident.
Mellow open again. What a three! I heard he's starring in the next superhero blockbuster.
Why do
They're
I
calling him
get hit
Mellow
with
Man.
it? Hey, I do.
I heard
He's got a tattoo that says not from here.
I heard he's one. I'm the only one.
Lamella, how much they paid you for that commercial, bro?
But at the end of the race, the laughs cut abruptly as Sandy wins the race. Now SpongeBob is actually mad, big baby rage, butthurt even. So he asks for a rematch, but instead of climbing, it's running. Well, I don't know if it's run, but like they swim? Is it swimming or running?
You're
Anyway,
stretching
he
it, bro.
claims he will win due to him being aerodynamic. Nerd. But this is just like the opposite of what Sandy said, because they're both doing their strength and weaknesses. So they do the race, and it becomes more and more and more apparent that they're taking it seriously and not doing it for fun anymore. I just want to pause here and just relate that to real life. I think we can all agree we've been in an argument or a competitive thing with our friends and taken it too seriously, damaging the bonds between
Bro, I ain't gonna lie. When you take something too serious, especially y'all playing a regular game, that is the worst thing ever. That is like you playing against somebody with 2K or somebody, and you bet money on it. Y'all friendship is done for. Bro.
both people.
Simple.
And sometimes it can get severely worse to the point of not just only hurting their feelings, but burning an entire bridge just
Yeah.
because you wanted to win. Obviously, no one likes losing to their friends, but is it more important to win, even if it means to hurt someone else? SpongeBob wins and they start bickering back and forth. Then Sandy and SpongeBob start fighting. This is the point where it starts to get messy and it kind of turns into a COD lobby with slurs being flung left and right. Listen to this with bleeps and it sounds so damn bad.
I guess we don't. Air, water, tree.
Yeah, say goodbye, bro.
Go, kite.
But back to the point. This is where the episode starts to get into the debate. Who is better, sea creatures or land creatures? And
Yeah.
you can look at the
So this is
episode as if it's from a literary standpoint, sea versus land, but if you use your imagination, it can be far darker.
way darker. I just not thought about it.
Picture this, you are in a friend group and you're the only different race out of that friend group. Everyone else is the same. For example, for Hispanics, one Indian. For Caucasians, one African American. It could be a mix of any of these groups, and later on, I'll discuss more than just race. And in these types of groups, you can feel really alienated real quick if everyone isn't on the same page as you. And in this case, Sandy is in that same situation, with jokes being made at her because she's a squirrel. But also, you can be the same person to make jokes at their expense as well. It can go both ways. But I'm
But it
gonna
can be
make this a
darker.
little bit interesting.
I get
To
what
make
you're
this
saying now.
even more of a connection, I'm gonna make this a little personal. A little seasoning of
Face ass nigga.
me in it. I was in Sandy's shoes at one point in my life. I had 4 people of the same race that would mock and berate me all because of my race, making jokes and saying slurs because it was the funny thing to do at the time. And it was all done at the expense of my feelings. They don't think their words carry any merit, but when people go through real trials and tribulations, they experience more than ever how it feels to be alienated, to feel different. I'm not with those friends anymore, nor talk to them, but
Same with me. You're not the only one, bro. Like I said, comment if y'all the only friend y'all got.
if it was a reality where they got to hear how I felt, I would have told them to go onto dry land. Heading back to the episode, everyone goes and follows Sandy to dry land. But I don't see it as dry land, I see it how others' compassion for one another is dry. A little play on words, if you will. They start making their way up to the surface, still laughing at Sandy. They get below the surface and start to get cold feet. It is as if they're scared to face their own retribution, confronting those feelings they once decided to belittle, but now feeling the pressure. They even try to sidestep it by putting a finger outside the water. This reminds me of people who barely touch the topic when it pertains to them, but when it's someone else, they can effortlessly speak about it as if they want to. One by one, they jump up to the surface, cold feet turning into warm sand as they start getting acclimated to the area. But one thing I have to say is, damn, Squidward is ugly.
Ew, ew.
I'll be crying if I look like that too, bro. That's f***ed up what they be doing to y'all.
But with that, they start walking around and still feel cocky as ever, thinking that this is a walk in the park. But really, it's the walk in the sand. Dirty chum chewers. What? I'm half sea creature. I
Whoa. Whoa.
can say it. I have sea creature friends. It's just a joke. Then, out of nowhere, the locals pull up to the scene. This is by far one of the most funniest and hilarious moments I've seen in SpongeBob history. So, Sandy waited the 1 minute, she decides to come up to check on them, and they're getting milli-whopped by the locals, running and screaming for their lives. Then Sandy starts squaring up and putting hands on the rats with wings, ending with them floating down to the bottom as they say their sorries. The ending kind of just makes light of the situation and doesn't really take it too seriously, but if we were to see the ending differently, it could have been seen as everyone making up to one another after things were said, because even if you hurt someone, you can always heal those wounds.
Not all the time, but you know what I'm saying, that's
down for me.
Sheesh. I didn't know it was like that,
The
bro.
one thing that everyone's loving, and as
Me looking at it, I didn't know it was like that,
they
yo.
come by the
That's crazy.
Don't think that this can only happen to you. You can also
That's
be
true.
the same person who conflicts the same emotions onto others without knowing, because remember, mob mentality. Also, some of you might have been wondering why my example I gave was so vague and simple. I was just waiting until now to speak about it. There could be many multitudes of different groups of friends that aren't just my example. For instance, everyone could be the same race and still be racist towards you, alienate
That's
you
true.
because you're different.
Yeah.
Happened to me before because I like anime, SpongeBob, and other stuff to be considered weird. And thinking about it more, it also could be not just only race. It could be gender, sexuality, or disability. Really, it's about how different you are from the group. Even new people joining groups can feel alienated. So, like I said,
If y'all in a friend group and y'all know it's not okay, I'm gonna tell y'all from me, do not join that friend group. You don't need to fit in, bro.
you can be the information, speak about how you feel, and don't run away from it. Say your piece and move on. If they can't reconcile or even act mature with you when it comes to topics like this, drop that friend group. Don't sacrifice your fun, happiness, and identity just to have company. Also, make sure you do some reflection. Are you stuck in this cycle? Make sure you're informed as well.
Good information, but let's get to the second episode.
Episode in this video. Season 2, episode 31, Squirrel Jokes. Oh, wait a minute. Isn't that funny? We just talked about episode 32. Now we're moving on to episode 31. It's just something that I wanted to mention. The episode starts off with a comedy club hosted by Mr. Krabs himself, named the Comedy Crab. How daring. The first comedian skips jokes and start throwing pies, and let's just skip that for now because a joke about your mom is waiting to happen. So SpongeBob comes out to do his stand-up, but that shit is failing so hard, it's failing faster than grandma's knees giving out. Like, he is the first ever to make the crowd go mid. So little bro starts to panic and looks around the place for something witty to say, and he just so happened to see Sandy with her teeth. and starts clowning on her mercifully. I mean, no stone was left unturned. He was going all out with this one, joking on her until the end of the night. So, has he gone too far?
He gone too far.
It's a tricky thing to say, but I think personally he's a bit fucked up for only making jokes about Sandy. And after the performance, she even exclaimed how she felt. But with SpongeBob, being the that he is, brushes her off, saying everyone has to make jokes about themselves, but not demonstrating it on stage, aka hypocrite. But Sandy, being the cool character that she is, lets it slide for now, and they hug it out. The next day, she goes shopping for some deodorant. She's just minding her own business, literally doing nothing, and some eavesdropper dickhead makes a joke about her being dumb. Then, after that drive-by comment, some other people start pointing at her like she's a zoo. Even a mom gets scared that her child will catch the stupid from her. That is
Oh, I see it now, because it's, yeah, I can't say
some
that.
wild shit right there. Like unbelievably crazy activities.
I see it
Because
now.
whether we know it or not, this has happened before. Maybe not only race, but also sexuality and gender. She is being treated differently, all due to misspreading information and jokes that are harmful. Like, these aren't your regular microaggressions. These are your advanced microaggressions. But I just want to say one thing though. Jokes that are dark or have dark humor to it, it actually has to be a joke. And I especially hate it. I really hate it when people are just like, I just have dark humor. You just wouldn't understand. And they treat their humor like it's top class. Sit the f down. You're not a comedian. You're not special. You're not on a stage with 1,000 of people making jokes. No, you're just some regular person that look at the news and you're like, oh, this can be turned into a joke easily. And sometimes it's really crazy. And I know this is like a foreign concept, but you can have jokes inside of friend groups. Making a joke, but don't answer that. Like, for instance, if I told you all black people did 90% of the crimes in the world, would you believe me? I'm obviously making a joke, but don't answer that. Just for the love of God, don't answer that. But do you get what I mean? It's a joke, and you have to make it clear that it's a joke.
There's a reason behind everything, bro. Bro, that's not really
joke
a
and
joke.
you don't believe it, or people will start believing it. Do you know what I mean? You have to say it in the right place or right time, and if you're not saying it in the right place or right time, it can just be harmful and disrespectful for no reason. Even Patrick starts to treat her differently, and he is dumb as a bag of rocks. But I digress. Let's get back to the story. Any respectable thing to do as a friend is to tell them to stop, and Sandy did so respectfully. SpongeBob agrees sheepishly as he starts to contemplate on what other jokes he could make. He goes out there and, well, let's just say he really did make the crowd starve. I mean, at this point, he should be named Famine. Everyone is egging him on to do squirrel jokes, and he thinks to himself, and let me remind you, he acknowledges that he could either A, lose his friend, respect, and just a plain out biggest L in his life, or lose his career. So like any respectable friend would do, he drops the mic and leaves the stage.
That's respect. How many ads are you gonna put in this video, bro? I get it, bro.
Psych, he really came back tenfold. He wasn't
Yo, he is bold. What happened to my thing?
gonna let his career die, but he did let that friendship crash and burn off a side of a hill. I mean, he even
What happened to my thing? Hold up.
rubs it in her face by shining the light on her. He even says, "We aren't laughing at you, we're laughing with you." But really, that's not how it feels. He can't and shouldn't be telling people how they should feel. I don't know how to drive this message home any more than how it is already. But that's just a terrible